Hi, I'm DJ Ware. On this episode of the Cyber Gizmo, I want to go back and revisit a video I did about a year ago called Windows 10 End of Support 1 year later in this case.
Just a moment, DJ. Do you mean you haven't upgraded to Windows 11 yet?
But yeah, last year I published that video and it was a set of 5 options that you might consider for what you could do when the end of life comes on October the 14th. That date is looming. It's it's less than 30 days away now. So, yeah, and during the past year, thousands of you have watched that video and have written to me and posted and commented on the video. 2 things keep coming up. The first thing is, what about Windows 10 LTSC? So we're going to talk about that. And the other question is, what about Windows Defender? Will I still receive updates to that? Let's talk about the options. The first option is, as I had stated back then, was you can do nothing. Your machine's not going to turn off. It's not going to break after October the 14th. It'll continue to run. There will be no changes coming, no updates, no security patches, nothing. As far as Windows Defender is concerned, Microsoft, according to their website, says that you will not be receiving updates to Windows Defender as well. So all of that is shut down. That leaves you over time. That means that your exposure to malware, viruses, spyware, becoming a botnet for somebody else is going up. It's rising because there's nothing that, they'll find the holes in your system, but there won't be anybody patching them out. Yeah, and so you won't have Defender that's pointing out and helping you identify problems that are arising in your system. My advice, whenever I have people ask me, hey, what do you think about, I want to keep this old machine running, but I can't upgrade the operating system anymore. What do you think I should do? Well, you can continue to use it, but my advice is turn off your Wi-Fi, or if you're connected to an Ethernet cable, unplug it and keep it unplugged. Because if you're on the internet, you're kind of wide open. That's going to convert that machine into an offline workstation, or what we usually refer to as an air-gapped machine. So be careful what you install on it. You can carry viruses and malware right straight over to the machine on a USB stick. Yeah, you need to scan that USB stick before you push it into that machine. Because remember, there's no way for it to patch out any kind of a problem. Yes, you could run other pieces of antivirus software, but that's only half of it, right? I can see that I have something, but I have no way to get rid of it in order to patch it out. Do I recommend option 1? Not in all good conscience, I can't. No, that's reckless. For me to stand up here and go, oh, I think that's a great idea. I think you should do that. No, that's not going to do it. No. No, you won't hear that from me. I did find out there's some additional information about what Microsoft refers to as the ESU. Now that stands for Extended Security Update. So now, as I explained, for enterprise customers, you can do that for up to 3 years. But for us lowly home and pro users, no, you can't do that. They will give you a one-time 1-year ESU at a cost of around $30 per machine. And that will provide the following. It will provide no updates to the system that are new features. So you don't get any new features, but they will provide security patches and security updates to the system. And they will continue to update Defender and allow it to get updates as well. Basically, it's going to extend things for a year. On October the 13th, 2026, that's the last day that ESU will protect you. And then come October the 14th, 2026, you're right back here again. Same place, same time, same station, doing exactly the same thing, having Windows 10 run without patches. But, it could give you some time to save up. Maybe you want to wait till maybe the holidays to maybe get a good deal on a new machine or something. So yeah, you could definitely explore that option. Now, Microsoft says if you go out to their page on the ESU for Windows 10, that you can install it early and it won't start its counter until the October 14th date. You can wait even, if you, just an example, this isn't the end time where you can install things. Well, let's say you waited until sometime in January of 2026. Yeah, you can still add it, you can still apply it, and it'll start pushing updates to your machine. But it won't extend you a year from the date you install ESU. It's still going to end on October the 13th, 2026. So yeah, so you can install it early, you can install it right on the same day, or you can install it late. There's explanations and how to do it on their website. I'm not going to go through that. They'll provide you even support for installing ESU for Windows 10 even after the October the 14th date, but only to install the ESU. They won't help you in any other way. So if you run into trouble with it, they'll help you at least get it up and running. So yeah, so I think that option is definitely viable if you need the extra time to either. Well, I'm considering Linux, but I just haven't made up my mind, or I'm looking at ChromeOS Flex, but I just haven't made up my mind. What about this move to Windows 10 LTSC? Is that a good idea? Well, what the heck is LTSC anyway? LTSC stands for Long-Term Servicing Channel. It's a leaner build of Microsoft Windows 10 that's designed for embedded systems. What the is that a system that lives under my bed? No, it's a system that is used to power kiosks like you see in a mall, medical devices like CAT scans and MRI machines. It's for that kind of thing. Or it's for industrial controllers, machines that tell manufacturing devices what part to build, and how to build it. So yeah, and it's basically designed for those kind of environments where things don't change very often. So you're not installing apps, you're not sticking new hardware in it. It's just kind of a static machine that does the same set of tasks daily. Now, LTSC has had updates that start way back, and the last two were 2019 LTSC for Windows 10 and 2021 LTSC that were released. LTSC is supported from 10 years from the date you updated. So if you have 2019 LTSC, that's good until 2029. If you have 2021 LTSC, now their site says it's good until 2032, but that would be 11 years in my book. So I think it's more like 2031, but don't quote me. Defender updates continue to work, but it only does them, and it might be 2 times a year. But it's long. There's long term. It's not like your Windows Home where you're receiving patches every week. These are held and then they come all at once, once or twice a year. Is this going to work for a home environment? Can you take a home version of Windows and turn it in and use it as an LTSC? Yeah, you could do that. Is it a good idea? Well, let's find out. So first of all, LTSC is available to only enterprise licensing clients. So you can't go to the Windows Store and go, I want to get LTSC. It won't find it there. It's in a couple of places. It's available to developers through the Visual Studio subscriptions or through the volume licensing Microsoft licensing portal. There's also a third place to get it, which is the Microsoft Evaluation. I think it's called the Evaluation Center, and you can download a 90-day copy of the ISO. But understand this: LTSC is not designed for home desktops. It doesn't have broad driver support. It doesn't have all of the features that a normal Windows 10 release of the operating system would have. It's slimmed down, it's cut up, it's not going to be pleasant to use. Microsoft, even they say it's not suitable for home users. It's not a good environment for that. They this is what they say on their blog. It's like hammering a screw with a screwdriver instead of a hammer. It's the wrong tool, the wrong thing, and nothing good is going to come of it, is what they tell you.
That is bad. Very bad.
Is this something I can recommend to you then? No, no, I can't recommend this. Not as a responsible YouTube vlogger. I can't stand up here and go, "Oh yeah, I think that's a great idea. Make your life miserable and then get yourself in trouble legally with Microsoft for using something like this." What about option 4, which is to move to Google ChromeOS Flex? But don't confuse it with ChromeOS. But ChromeOS Flex is more like a desktop. You install applications on it. You can store files on it, as long as they are the files that support the Google application suite. So yeah, you're transferring everything over to using the Google applications. The Windows apps will not run on it. So yeah, you don't get that. There's limited support for hardware. The operating system itself is free to use. But you may encounter other costs like cloud space and that kind of thing. Is this a viable option? Well, maybe it's for you if that's the type of use cases you use your PCs for. If it's not, then no, it's probably not going to serve your needs at all. Option 5, let's move to that, is to move to Linux. Now, Linux kind of remains the long-term refuge for older hardware. You have a number of distributions like Linux Mint. You have Debian, although Debian is it's medium experience level. You have MX Linux, which is good for beginners. You have Ubuntu, which is not recommended by me, just because Ubuntu does weird things anymore, and it becomes tricky to try to get things to work. Fedora is more advanced, and so is Arch. You can keep your older machines alive long past the date that Microsoft deems them as abandoned. So yeah, but let's be real. This is not a Windows environment. Linux is not Windows, and nor will it ever be. It's not designed for that, so it's got a learning curve. The interfaces are different. The software catalogs are different. The way it manages files is different. The Windows programs may require alternatives, or you can use Wine. Wine stands for Wine is not an emulator. And what Wine does is it looks at the high-level APIs coming from Windows applications and translates those into the corresponding Linux ones. So your software could run under Wine, or it may not. I mean, if the game is in a lot of times is that people will shortcut the API and they'll dive under and they'll use undocumented APIs just to bypass the upper layers to get more speed, reduce latency, and that's common. But Wine doesn't know about those. It doesn't have any programming to deal with it. So it doesn't know what to translate it to, and it will fail. So do I think that's a viable option? Maybe. But you have to be the one ultimately to decide that. I can't decide that for you. Yes, it's an operating system. It's been around a while. It's mature. It has a very loyal following. There are good people, and it's open source, best of all, which means that you don't pay a dime to use it. And plus, Linux people are absolutely abhorrent to collecting telemetry. What about the move to Windows 11? That definitely, if that is your thing and you want to remain under Windows, that's your only choice forward. Windows 11 is Microsoft's official future. It'll be supported well past 2030, but it does have some requirements hardware-wise. First one is you need a TPM 2.0 chip. That is a place where you can store security keys. You also have Secure Boot, which prevents other operating systems from being installed on top of yours. That's another vector for malware, by the way. And so it helps there. And the other one is there's a list of supported CPUs. That has a lot to do with performance of the system. So if you're on an older version of a CPU, and I think the cutoff is at 8th gen CPUs. So
DJ is biased towards Intel CPUs, but he has finally begun using AMD chips.
if you have a 7th gen CPU, you're out of luck. And if you have an 8th gen, it may work. I tested it with a 9th gen, works fine, installs fine. My 9th gen has a TPM built in. It has support for Secure Boot. And it was built long ago. So, yeah, it still works. I've tested it. These people that say, well, you can just bypass the checks. What's the matter with you? You don't need to be saying this. You don't have to upgrade your hardware. You can just bypass the checks. Yeah, you can do that. You can get in and hack your machine. But realize that Microsoft, this is a licensed product, meaning that they hold the terms and conditions for its use. Rather than guess or trying to go through their documentation, Microsoft has built a program called PC Health Check. And that PC Health Check will look through your machine, look through everything, and see if you're in compliance with Windows 11 or not. If it says you're not, it'll say why. And if it says you are, you're good to go, and you're ready to install it. The people that are saying you can bypass that, Microsoft has said publicly at least 3 times since I've made that video that they will not tolerate that, not for a minute. If you go in and modify and make and change registry settings and change their configuration that they supply to you, they consider that out of band, which means they could drop support on you. They could turn your updates off. They could deactivate your activation. But anyway, so I don't recommend that you hack your system in order to bypass the hardware requirements. The best thing to do is match your hardware. If you're going to stay on Windows 11, make sure your hardware requirements align. And then you're out of the gray area and you don't have to worry about it. It just be above board and honest, right? That's part of life. Again, as a responsible YouTuber, I cannot recommend hacking or doing stuff like that. I don't do it myself, and I don't recommend it to others. So what's the best option? It's this one, if you want to stay in the Windows ecosystem. That means, though, and I have to tell you this, you're being monitored and watched by Microsoft every day you use Windows 10, and even more so on Windows 11. I suspect Windows 12 will just be a surveillance playground because, I don't know, for some reason Microsoft just wants in our homes. They want to be a part of your life. They want to know your family and your friends, and they like to get to know you better. And they do it by siphoning everything you do and say. So, yeah. Do I support that? No. No, I don't. I don't support that. I hate that. I think that's one of the worst things these companies can do. And I hope for legislation one day in the U.S. that will terminate that.
Did someone say terminate? I like that idea.
Permanently. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. All right, off my soapbox. So there you have it. The 6 choices that that I considered that are important to you. So from doing nothing to going to the ESU and buying yourself a year, to moving forward with Windows 11 or moving over to Linux or Chrome OS Flex. A year ago, I said that the clock was ticking. It's not ticking anymore. The alarm is going off. So if you haven't done something by now, you should be moving because the time is running out on what your options are, other than stay the course and run it, at risk. So, but we are less than 30 days away. So the question isn't when, and it isn't, will Microsoft back off of that date? I would have thought that if that was going to be the case and they were going to extend this, they would have extended it long ago. No, this time, I think Microsoft is dead serious on that date. So far, they are holding to it like iron. But, if enough, it's just like everything else. If enough people raise a stake, Microsoft may go, okay, all right, we'll back off. But, and they have in the past. But I don't know. I'm not inside their boardroom. I don't sit and listen to their meetings. And I don't have any telemetry on them. So, so anyway, before I close, I had to put that in there. So let me add one more thought, and that's about the official details coming in kind of spurts and stops and starts about rumors of Windows 12 getting ready for a release sometime on the horizon. I don't know when. They haven't said it's going to be released on this date. Not yet anyway. But they have said this. There are even stricter hardware requirements for Windows 12 than there were for Windows 11. This means that your move to Windows 11 might be a jump, but it won't maybe be enough to get you to Windows 12. So that could put you right back in this box again, waiting for Windows 11 to go end of life and then having to re-upgrade your hardware again. In closing, I don't speak for Microsoft. I'm just a vlogger that is an advocate for Linux. And these are my opinions and nothing more than that. I hope you enjoyed it, and I thank you for watching the video, and bye for now.